Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win, or you find a way to lose. So let's really try to understand what's going on here with Tank Davis. The damn rehydration, the whole clause about the damn rehydration, right? Let me tell you something. For me, it's frustrating. Because let's just skip through all the BS. We know Canelo took a page out of Floyd Mayweather's book. What Floyd started doing, what he realized at a certain point of his career, more towards the end of his career, right? He realized that he was the A side. He always talked about the A side, the A side. And realizing that he was the A side, especially after he beat De La Hoya, right? He saw how De La Hoya didn't try to weight drain him, but he more or less tried to bring De La Hoya tried to bring Mayweather up to a weight to where De La Hoya was the most comfortable. So De La Hoya tried to kind of weight bully Mayweather, making him come up and fight him at 154 pounds. Mayweather was like, no problem. Mayweather did the business. That was a close fight. It could have gone either way, but he got the nod. So it is what it is. But what Mayweather learned from that is, wow. So when I become the A side, I can pretty much dictate things. If a guy wants to fight, he wants the payday, he wants the opportunity to challenge for legacy, well, you know what? He's going to have to accept my terms. And once he figured that out, he didn't always exercise that, you know what I'm saying? But he knew if guys were going to come in to fight him, especially guys who are, naturally bigger than him, oh yeah, he was going to make sure to have the little clauses in the contract or different stipulations in the contract because he was the A side. But nonetheless, Canelo took a page out of Floyd Mayweather's book, and it's no secret Canelo moving up in weight and fighting at these different weights and catch weights, and he can do that when he's the A side, you know what I'm saying? But the thing is this, Gervonta Davis, I'm going to tell you right now, I never heard anyone say Floyd Mayweather knocked out a light heavyweight. Floyd Mayweather knocked out a cruiserweight. Nobody gone on record and said Floyd Mayweather could knock out a heavyweight. The thing about Gervonta Davis is, reportedly, when you hear different sparring partners speak, Gervonta Davis, during sparring sessions, knocking out light heavyweights, knocking out cruiserweights. I saw an interview. I shouldn't talk about it because I don't have the clip right. It's out there. I can't remember who was talking about it. I don't know if it was Floyd Mayweather's buddy, the guy who was in his corner helping him, man. Nate, I think his name is Nate, right? I don't know if it was he who said it or I can't remember who said it. But nonetheless, I don't know if it was Fernando Vargas because his kids were doing sparring with him, and one of his kids said it. I don't know, remember who said it, but supposedly Gervonta Davis had knocked out a heavyweight or something like that. But I say all that to say this. If Gervonta Davis is really out here knocking out, guys who outweigh him by, 40 to 60 pounds, right? 65 pounds, right? Why is Gervonta Davis? Did I say Gervonta or Floyd? Okay, I'm getting old, man. But if Gervonta Davis is out here knocking guys out, 30, 40, 65 pounds more than him, why does he need a damn rehydration clause for Ryan Garcia? And especially this whole thing with Devin Haney. Why is he worried about weight? I'm gonna tell you right now, Gervonta Davis, he can crack. That's no secret. He has the power of a heavyweight. Now, for those of you saying, well, how do you say that? Well, I watched those guys hit that damn punching machine. You know what I'm saying? I hit that punching machine at put it to you this way. I hit that punching machine at Urban Air with my kids. They have a punching machine there. And I didn't really put any effort into the first shot. It was like 850. And I said, okay, because I got my shoulder still has tears in it. So the next one I said, let me put a little stink on it. I'll put a little stick on it like they say in Dallas, right? And I hit it, and that shit said like 975. And, my kids freaked out. And I was like, okay, I still got a little pop. But when I watched Deontay Wilder hit it, I watched Anthony Joshua hit it, I watched Dillian White hit it, I watched all these different guys who can crack, Danny Garcia, Earl Spence. You watch Lil Tank come up there and hit it and see what that damn machine reads. So he hits harder than some of them heavyweights. So that being said, if you hit that hard, why sit here, man, and put a guy through the stress of getting himself down to a weight that, it gives you an advantage for them to stress their bodies out to get to that moment in time to hit that magic number. But then you go and you put the 10-pound rehydration clause to where they can only go up to, Ryan Garcia in particular can go to 146 the morning of the fight. Then after that, he can, gain as much weight as he wants. But, when some people, this is what annoys me. That's why I really don't watch a lot. I don't watch other boxing channels. I don't. I can't take it, man. And that's just, my tolerance level is low. It's low. I can't take the way they speak and carry on. I can't take the fact that they don't know what the F they're talking about. When these guys are rehydrating, right? This is what people need to understand. There's no Ryan Garcia weighing in at 136 the day before the fight, right? Then in the morning, weighing in again and hitting 146, right? Making sure he's not over that weight, right? And then Ryan Garcia goes and eats whatever and comes in the fight at 180 pounds. Rehydration, that is a nurtured process. You understand? It is very delicate and very deliberate. So when people are saying, the rehydration clause, I don't see what the problem is. It's not a big deal. Ryan Garcia, as long as in the morning he comes in, he doesn't weigh any more than what they contracted at 146, and he can come in as heavy as he wants. He may come in at 170. He's not, listen, it's not how it works. These are, and let me watch what I say, because I don't want to cuss on here, but these are dumb, ignorant people who are out here making videos, and they don't know what the hell they're talking about. So what I would tell you is, by Tank putting that rehydration clause in there, and as far as the way that Ryan Garcia agreed to it, he agreed to it all. Though we got to be fair, he shouldn't have agreed to it. But it does give Tank Davis a significant advantage, because Tank Davis makes 135, seems to be quite comfortably. And then my understanding is Tank Davis doesn't have a rehydration clause. It's only for Ryan Garcia. So Tank does what he wants. But for those of you who are saying, well, hey, look, it shouldn't be a big deal about the weight. Listen, man, once the mind goes, the body goes. You know the kind of stress that puts on a boxer, and true, Ryan Garcia and De La Hoya, they did it to themselves. But it puts them through a different type of stress, a different type of worry, a different type of anxiety. And he's got that going on in his body from like right now all the way up to the day of the fight. Even probably right up until when he gets ready to go into the ring, because he has to watch everything that he's doing. He can't sit back and focus on the game plan and everything, because his mind is all over the place, because he's trying to make sure, when he's rehydrating, he doesn't overdo it. If he's eating his meal, he has to make sure he doesn't overdo it, because once he goes over that agreed weight, 146 pounds a day of, then it's a huge problem. So it's very stressful. But my thing is, for a guy like Tank, why sit there and put those kind of clauses in the contract? And I get it being the A side. I get it, the whole Mayweather, the whole De La Hoya Mayweather, the whole thing with what's his name, with Canelo and what he's doing. But my thing is, if you're knocking out all these big guys, what the hell does a little damn 135 pounder, 147 pounder welterweight, what does that do for you? But I'll tell you what, Ryan Garcia is standing, 5'10", 5'9", 5'10". He probably should be fighting at 147. Devin Haney walk around about 5'8", 5'9". He probably should be fighting at 147. But they're doing, fix this camera. They're doing what they have to do to get down to a certain weight, to give them an advantage. I just think going forward, I think right now he needs to hold his horse. He's taking it to the stupid, because going forward, if you take a look at this, which people need to understand this right here. So you can see what's going on, but let me show you this right here. When you look at the WBA, the column all the way to the far right, let me expand this for some of you who may be looking at this on your phone. You got Devin Haney. Tank has the WBA World Light. He's the WBA World Lightweight Champion. Devin Haney is the WBA Super World Lightweight Champion. Tank is the mandatory to Devin Haney. You understand? So Tank's about to fight Ryan Garcia. If he clips him, I don't see them trying to make Tank against Frank Martin. But Frank Martin is right on Tank. Frank Martin is right on Gervonta Davis' heels. So they could make Frank Martin and Tank Davis in the final eliminator. You know, these sanctioned bodies do some quirky stuff because Devin Haney is fighting Vasily Lomachenko. Now, the thing about Devin Haney and Lomachenko, right, that's unique is I don't know if he's fighting Lomachenko as the mandatory for the WBO or the WBC. You understand? That's what I don't understand. But I would assume both because he can't come now, Lomachenko, and fight Haney for the WBC as a mandatory, lose, and then get another opportunity as a mandatory for the WBO. So if Haney beats Lomachenko, Lomachenko falls out, then Haney has to look for his next fight. This Gustavo Daniel Lemos guy, I just don't see Devin Haney fighting that guy. But then he got to come and really take a look at Gervonta Davis. Okay, if not, you got Cruz there. You got Shakur Stevenson. So Devin Haney is in an extremely difficult position because the mandatories coming his way are some killers. Let's go back and look at that screen. You look at if Devin Haney beats Lomachenko. Let's just look at the WBO column. He got Shakur Stevenson. If Stevenson gets through this guy Yoshino, then Stevenson is right there, right on Devin Haney's bumper. You know what I'm saying? You got Baranchik down here, but then you got Cruz again. You got Zepeda, but really, Stevenson is right there for the WBO. You go right on Devin Haney, and you come over here. They got this Lemos guy, but then you got Pitbull Cruz. You got Stevenson again and Frank Martin. Cruz, Stevenson, and Martin are all problem for anybody. But that's what Devin Haney has to face with. That's what he's going to be faced with. You come over to the WBC column, the green column here. If he gets through Lomachenko, you got Cruz, Stevenson. This guy Yoshino should fall off. Zepeda and Frank Martin. So again, Haney has serious problems with these guys who are right there on his heels. Then the WBA, you're going to have Tank Davis. That's the fight that's going to have to make. Or you're going to have to fight Frank Martin or Zepeda. Lomachenko would fall off, and then Stevenson and Cruz. So Devin Haney's just in a bad spot. But nonetheless, now we talk about Ryan Garcia, right? We talked about that. But for Devin Haney and Tank, why in the world is Tank already worrying about Devin Haney? Talking about Devin Haney runs around at a middleweight. It comes to the point where, you know, you can understand where somebody says that maybe Tank Davis is a little bit afraid. Now, I don't think Tank Davis is afraid of anyone, but I wonder how much is Tank really exercising his A-side privilege, and how much is it where he's like not really sure about these guys? Because I don't care what anyone says. When you watch Ryan Garcia viciously knock somebody out with that left hook, I don't care what you say. If you're a fighter and real recognize real, you know for someone knocks one out cold with one punch, you know, not hit him and daze him. I mean, one shot and knock him out cold. Disrupt all the little blood vessels and tissues that connect the brain and cause like a system overload and cause the body to kind of go into shock temporarily and shut down, right? That's what those punches do to them. If you know a person can do that, I don't care what you say. You can talk what you want, you can puff out your chest all you want, but you know, like I can't get hit by this person. If they're knocking everybody else out with one shot, they can do it to you. Same way Tank is able to do it, Ryan Garcia can do it. He's got the power, like He-Man. I've got the power. He's got the power. So Tank Davis worrying about these guys in this weight, it's crazy. But for Devin Haney doesn't hit hard, right? Right? Devin Haney doesn't hit hard. Why is Tank worried about Devin Haney? I can kind of understand doing that to Ryan Garcia. I don't agree with it. But Devin Haney, what are we talking about? So what you're going to see happening here, right? Let me go back over here. What you're going to see happening here with Tank and Devin Haney is the fight's not going to happen. Tank's going to sit there because he feels he's the A side. And Devin Haney and his father, they're not going to go for that. They're not going to allow Tank Davis to dictate any terms to them. So something's going to have to give, because I'll tell you what. Let's say this fight gets made, right? Right here. Let's say this fight gets made for the WBA. They come out and make Tank the mandatory, right? Tank gets by Ryan Garcia. They make Tank the mandatory. Tank may give up that WBA belt, because Devin Haney's going to sit there and he's going to be like, look, I'm the A side, I'm the undisputed champion. You do things my way. Tank may give up that little WBA World Lightweight Championship belt. So don't get excited. Don't get excited about Tank and Haney fighting, because you can see the signs are there already that somebody going to put some duck sauce on the fried rice. That's all I'm saying. But that being said, at this point in time, for somebody like Tank, who has a reputation for being a hard hitter, for being dedicated to the sport, and you look at everything that he's done, I don't understand why he's so concerned about really putting these guys at a significant disadvantage, because that is what it is. And I don't understand why he's more concerned about just getting them in the ring to prove that he's the best on an even playing field. But this could kind of go back to what Lomachenko was saying, where he said Tank's a good fighter, but he's not great. Tank's fought nobody. You know what I'm saying? And Lomachenko came out and said that. And when you look at Gervonta Davis' record, I think he was just he was strategically moved along by Floyd, Al Heyman, Leonard Ellaby, kind of like Anthony Joshua. It was put in at the right time, the right opponents, and, he was able to get the big wins. So maybe this is a situation where we may see Tank Davis kind of end up in a situation like AJ when he really fights. What I would say is like real elite competition. Guys who are really in their prime and really hungry. Maybe that's what we're going to see. I'm not sure, but what I'm doing right now is just having a conversation with you. But that being said, let's see what the future holds. But I'm telling you right now, Garcia, he agreed to some things that maybe he and his team shouldn't have, but nonetheless, the fight's here now. So we're happy. But I'll tell you this, the downside to all that, right, is that now Tank is like, look, if I'm going to fight Devin Haney, he's going to have to agree to these demands and stipulations I'm going to put in the contract. But the thing is, Tank is not the A side when it comes to Devin Haney. But it could be a situation, I probably need to save some of this talk for another video, but maybe Tank is out here like Tyson Fury, where it's like, look, I'm the draw. I'm the money guy. And then they end up ending up at a kind of stalemate where negotiation don't go anywhere, because you got one guy with all the belts. One guy has a little joke belt or whatever, but he's the draw. He's the money man. You know what I'm saying? Trying to dictate a 70-30, dictate a rehydration clause. Devin Haney and his dad's not going to go for that. So something's going to have to give, because if it gets mandated and these guys start fooling around, somebody's going to have to give up that belt. And I'm telling you right now, if you ask me, somebody's going to get categorized as putting some duck sauce on that fried rice. But that being said, I'll leave it as that. More to come. Ryan Garcia and Tank is on the way. This whole thing about Tank and Devin Haney, I think it's going to get very interesting, very ugly. Because unlike the whole thing with Usyk and Tyson Fury, they weren't mandatories to each other. They were just going to try to fight for the undisputed. So there's nobody to get stripped. You understand? The difference here is Tank, if he beats Ryan Garcia, we got to see what the WBA does. They may make him the mandatory, or they may have him and Frank Martin fight in an eliminator, title eliminator, for the mandatory position. And then Tank, someone's going to get stripped. Either he's going to get stripped, it's going to be him. Because if they make him the mandatory, and for some reason he doesn't want to go forward, it'll probably be Tank giving up that WBA belt. That's what I think is going to happen. If Tank gets past Garcia, he's going to drop the WBA belt. And then, oh boy, the floodgates are going to be open. No one's going to hold their horses. Everybody's going to take it to the stupid on Tank Davis' name, because he would have put duck sauce on the fried rice. I'm going to do a video about that. I'll probably write that down because I'm going to go upstairs and chill. What I predict happens in the next, after the Ryan Garcia fight, whatever happens with Tank with these legal woes, right? After all that, he may end up becoming champion in recess too, because if he ends up going to the joint. That's something else nobody's really talking about. So I need to save all these ideas for the videos. Either way it goes, Tank Davis, I think that belt's coming off his hands. Honestly. I think no matter what, Tank Davis is going to give up that WBA World Lightweight Championship belt, because he's not going to want to sit there and fight Devin Haney if there's no rehydration clause, etc. I can't see him wanting to fight Frank Martin at all, even though he says Frank Martin knows what happened. But I know with him may not want to take those fights unless he gets the conditions the way he wants it, and the fact that he's facing some jail time, which I think he's going to get. I'm not wishing that on him, but it's just not looking good. He probably, one way or the other, going to end up having that belt taken off of him. With that being said, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans on 7 continents. More to come on old Tank Davis. And I'm going to tell you right now, somebody putting duck sauce on the fried rice. And it's not me. That being said, I'm in the breeze.